gotta love that. Anyway.
Got it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Will and Wise.
The Dog Show Drive.
That's right. And this week on The Drive, we're going to talk about when is grooming too much?
Too much.
And we're going to talk about last week's question of the week about mentors. We're going to talk about a bunch of those comments because we got a great response. And then Yvonne's favorite, of course, she's going to bring up something from the depths of Kennel and Bench. All that on and more. Will and Wise.
The Dog Show Drive.
Well, hello, Why?
Well, hello, Will.
It's nice to see you. It seems like it's been forever. Yesterday.
Yes.
So you had a busy weekend.
I did. I actually left. I left the country even.
Yeah, you left Thunder Bay.
I left Thunder Bay.
You can take the girl out of Thunder Bay, but you can't take Thunder Bay
out of the girl. No, I went to my second home, which is actually Minnesota. Well, I love my Minnesota. Yeah. I
just read a horrible thing about Minneapolis. So yeah, my prayers go out to Minneapolis right now. So
there's I still think it's a wonderful place.
It is a wonderful place. They just had an active shooter at school. So
yeah. So unfortunately, that's a thing there. But I went to the St. Croix Valley Dog Shows, which is held in Lake Elmo, Minnesota, and it's held on a lovely fairgrounds, the Washington, they call it Washington State, or maybe, no, it's Washington County. There we go. All these years, I finally figured it out. So but they have
just now. Here on the Dog Show Drive.
This just in. But they have like 2 days of specialty shows, and so it was great. And I always get to go to the Minnesota State Fair.
Yeah.
That is the biggest state fair in the country, just to let you know.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Yeah.
It's so much. Oh, I was saying to my good friends, Mandy and Doug Carlson, because that's where they are.
Friends of the show. I was just going to say, I should call Doug and say I want to go to the state fair.
Yeah. So I said to them, I don't know why I don't always plan to stay extra and just go and sit at the fair, because I could sit and watch livestock being judged literally for days.
I like doing that as well.
Yeah. So we did catch, we went one evening and we did catch Percheron horse driving class, because the 2020 it was the World Congress of Percherons were there. It was crazy. Like there's just so much to see. I love it. Anyway,
yeah, I like that. That was the St. Elmo Dog Show was close to that.
Lake Elmo, yeah.
Oh, Lake Elmo, sorry.
It's about a half-hour drive because the fair is it's right adjacent to the U of M campus. So
if I was judging at Lake Elmo, I could probably go to the fair afterwards.
Oh, for sure. Okay, I'll talk to someone. I'll talk to someone.
No soliciting. Oh, you're allowed to solicit in America. You just can't solicit up here.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't. Yeah. Because we could keep you very busy there, because there's lots that you could judge at that show, and it's a great show. It's well run. The grounds are large. The rings are. It was cold though. On Saturday, it got cold. I go south. I'm expecting to be warm, and usually that weekend's always really hot. I know. I go 6 hours south. I expect to be warm.
I'm out my bikini.
Settle down. But it was cold. The wind picked up when the wind picks up. And the other thing, right, during that show, there is a big dressage show for horses. So we have not just dogs there, but we have all kinds of horses.
Well, dressage for horses. It's not dressage for us. It's not like
no.
And here we have the Thunder Bay entry of Yvonne and her daughters.
and 2 left feet. So anyway, yeah. So it was a nice show, and the entries are down there too. But it is what it is. But it was lovely, and it was a good drive home. We had no issues at the border, coming or going. So
That's good.
Such is such. And you were judging this past weekend.
Yeah, I was judging at the Elgin County Kennel Club in Dorchester, Ontario. Mike and Sandy Jelena and Ron Mahan run that show.
Yep.
It was a very good show. They are doing such a good job of that show right now. They brought that show. I want to say within the last 5 years, they brought that show, like, resuscitated it. It's back to life.
Yeah.
And it's now a contender with the bigger shows.
Oh, that's good.
They've done a great job. The grounds are beautiful. It's set up like a dog show. There's vendors, there's camping, there's hotels close by. It's turning into an event, and I really enjoyed myself there.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Mm-hmm. And that was close to you, right? That was not in London?
No, Dorchester. It's about an hour.
Yeah. Okay. So that is close.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
They had a great entry. I judged the sporting dogs on one day, and there was like over 100 dogs. That's a big sporting group for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the Wolfhound specialty.
Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. So
good.
And my hat's off to Mike and Sandy and Ron. They do a great job. It's run tickety boo. It's just it's really good. There's a lot of specialties, and it just goes smooth.
That's so important too to make everybody's weekend go much nicer, as if things are well run.
And they had perfect weather for a dog show.
Oh,
like it wasn't hot, it wasn't cold, it was sunny. It was like a fall show. But it was bright and sunny, and it was a really nice event. Really nice event.
Excellent. Yeah, lots happened this weekend.
Yeah. I just want to get this out of the way too. There was an incident that happened a few weeks ago, and I'm not going to go into it because I don't think it needs to be discussed. But it's a lesson to all of us that accidents can happen to anybody. And last week, or was it the week before, I can't remember, we talked about keyboard warriors. Well, this is the time, I think, for everybody to be kind on both ends. And I understand both sides of the story. But please try to be kind to both sides. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible thing that happened, and I don't want to get into it. But just be kind, Be kind.
And I always say, if it didn't directly involve you, mind your business. You don't.
All that, and
you don't really need to weigh in on it.
No, they don't, and.
So
I don't even want to think about it. It was a horrible moment for a lot of people. So onwards and upwards. Let's go on to across Canada, Yvonne.
Driven by Show Scene Magazine. Show Scene, where every dog takes center stage. So we had a few shows across the country.
You looked down. I did my jazz hands.
Yeah, I saw you out of the corner of my eye. So we had Markham Kennel Club on the 19th and the 20th, and that was 4 shows held in the 2 days. And they had an entry of 666 dogs, which was up from the previous year of 547 dogs.
666.
I know. It freaked out. Oh, we should break and just tell everybody our Megan, our Garcia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She went camping, and apparently in our last production meeting last week, she told us several times, but this Monday, when Will and I had our production meeting and we're wondering where the heck Megan was.
Now we know to pay attention. Megan, has anybody seen Megan?
Megan, where's Megan? Have you texted her? Yes, I've texted.
Bueller.
So just to let you know, if the show does not run as smoothly, it's because I had to do the agenda out, and it's just Godspeed and fingers crossed.
Well, when it arrived, though, I thought, Megan who? No, I'm just kidding, Megan.
Don't say that. She quits. I'm with her. It'll be a union walkout. Anyhow.
I could do it. I'd be fine.
Anyway, it was yeah. So we hope
missed you,
you
Megan.
enjoyed your camping. Apparently, she's back now. Thank the Lord. So,
The Lord.
the Lord. Anyhow, so yeah. So 4 shows, 666. And then the year before,
And so they are up over 100 dogs.
yeah, nicely done, folks, nicely done. And then there was Elgin County Kennel Club, which you were at, and that went from the 21st. I think that was 21st, 22nd, 23rd, yeah, 24th. That's 4 shows, and they were at 1,158 dogs, and that's up from the previous year of 935.
And that's what I mean. That shows trending upwards. It's
Yeah,
every year it's gone up. So
yeah, I noticed it was almost up like 20 to 30 dogs a day, that's really great. That's great. And then we have Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry Dog Association, SD&G. And they were August 22nd to the 25th. And then they had 4 shows as well, and they had 1,151 dogs.
71,
71, which is down from the previous year of 1,434. So they were
just goes to show you that there was 2 shows in Ontario within driving distance, and they both over their weekends got over 1,000 dogs.
Yeah.
And both kennel clubs put a lot into their panels.
Yeah, SD&G does for sure
A lot
too.
of thinking into their panels and their specialties, and they have drawing cards for each day.
Yeah.
It's so like Ontario can do it, and they will. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
But it has to be a good event for them to come. It's gonna have you have to put some effort into it and make it an event. If you have a show against other shows, remember this scenario that weekend, August 21st weekend, 2 shows, both of them over 1,000 dogs.
Yeah.
Tells you something.
It does.
Yeah.
All right. So can I go on?
Go on? Yes, I'm done.
So then out in BC, we had the Cranbrook and District Kennel Club, August 22nd to the 24th. And they had 3 shows, 335 dogs, and about the same from last year. And they had 341 last year across 3 shows as well. So that was...
They stayed steady.
Yes. So that was across Canada. Brought to you by Show Scene Magazine, where every dog takes center stage.
Driven by Show Scene Magazine.
All
we
right.
have upcoming shows. They're brought to you by Canuck Dogs, your source for Canadian dog show events
online. So I'm not going to lie.
Away, why?
I'm not going to lie. These are the same ones from last week because I literally was too lazy to try and finagle.
Don't tell them that.
Nothing.
Don't tell them such things.
Anyway, so we're looking at our October list of shows. We have the United Kennel Club in St. Lazare, Quebec, October 3rd to the 6th, and it has 4 all-breed shows, limited breed shows for groups 1, 3, 5, and 7. And then we have the Abigaouet Kennel Club. Is that how do you say that?
I don't know. We were gonna find out.
Yeah, but then Megan went away.
Because this was on last week's.
Anyway, that's held in Charlottetown, PEI, and that's also October 3rd to the 5th, and it closes on September 22nd, and that's 5 all-breed shows. And then we have the Fraser Valley Dog Fanciers show in Chilliwack, BC, October 9th through the 12th. And that's on the our Thanksgiving weekend. And that's 4 all-breed shows and 4 obedience trials. And we also have Wine Country Kennel Club in Caledonia, also on that weekend. 4 all-breed shows, limited breed shows for groups 1, 3, 5, and 7. And then in Alberta, we have Medicine Hat Kennel Club, October 10th through the 12th. And it's 3 all-breed shows and limited breed shows for groups 2, 5, and 6. And then we have the Quebequid Dog Show and Dog Club in Bible Hill, Nova Scotia on the 11th and the 12th of October. And that's 4 all breed shows. And rounding out, we have the Avalon Kennel Club in St. John's, Newfoundland, October 11th and 12th. And that's 4 all breed shows as well. And those upcoming shows were brought to you by Canuck Dogs, your source for Canadian canine event information
online.
Thank you.
I love Newfoundland. I've only been in Newfoundland a couple of times. I really enjoy it. So whenever anybody brings up Newfoundland, it gives me.
I always want to go see the puffins. I want to see the puffins.
I've seen them.
Oh, okay.
I've seen the whales and the puffins. Yeah, we even had a pod of orcas follow our boat out there.
Remember that movie, Orca?
Orca?
Yeah, remember that movie?
It wasn't like that.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. And just some reminders for closing. These were new because I did look these up, though. Lower Mainland Dog Fanciers of BC closes on September 8th, 2025. Would probably have helped if I did look up who the show secretary was, and I didn't. Sorry.
Back to you, Megan.
And that's September 18th through the 21st. And that's 4 all breed shows. And then Club Canin Chomedy in Terrebonne, Quebec. There's a lot of specialties with this show. I'm pretty sure. A lot of specialties.
Yeah, that's a very nice show to attend, to show it and to judge it. Like, it's a very nice venue.
Nice.
They do a very nice job.
That's September 19th through the 21st, and it closes next week on September 4th. And that's 3 all breed shows, limited breed shows for groups 1, 3, and 7, 6 obedience trials, and 6 rally obedience trials. And like I said, there's a whole whack of specialties along with that. And then finally, Sudbury and District Kennel Club, held in Coniston, Ontario, September 19th through the 21st, closing September 9th. And that's 6 all breed shows. September 9th, it closes.
Okay. Well, this brings us to this week's topic, brought to you by Leading Edge Dog Show Academy. Your success is our success.
Your success?
So,
our success.
Our success, yeah. And then this week, our topic is breed-specific grooming. Where does it go from proper presentation to over-the-top excessive trimming or presentation? So that's a very touchy subject, really, because trends change. Like what was over trimming in the 70s, would that even be close to be over trimming now? No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Like the breed standards, what does most breed standards say presented naturally? Well,
right. I
think there's an old story about Ruthie Tongren, an Afghan lady. Someone was Afghan icon. Somebody asked her about over trimming in Afghans, and over trimming and presentation had changed too in Afghans, and they wanted to go back to the old days. And she said something to the effect of, "I don't want to go back to the old days. Back in the old days, they were matted to the bone and running the other way and screaming." Something like that. I mean, I got
valid point.
So.
Yes. But it is true. If you look in, actually, reading standards currently the way I have been, it's amazing also the lack of guidance in your breed and a lot of the breed standards. So, what's over grooming to, or what's natural presentation to you and I may not be natural presentation to, maybe the breed club. So there's a lot of interpretation.
It's interesting. When the Barbet first started taking notice in Canada, we had a couple of dogs that were doing some winning, and they were both trimmed in different ways. And I had never really experienced showing Barbets. I always found them attractive and interesting, and I looked them up and saw pictures of dogs being presented in France, and I really, in my own personal view, I really liked when they looked natural. I like them when they almost looked wet. You remember that picture of the Irish Water Spaniel Dugan
Yeah.
on the dock? Well, there was a dog. I'm sure he's from Quebec. That was shown. Now he wasn't wet, but he had that look. He had that.
Right.
He had his curls were shiny and tight, and they were lengthy, and it was still dense looking. And I just thought I just loved that look. So actually, the president of the Barbie Club at that time came to me because he had concerns about what direction presentation was going to go.
Right.
And again, I don't know why he came to me. Like I was honored that he did, but I explained my best how I thought in my mind's eye. I thought they should go, and then I said a few things, and I discussed the picture I'd seen of dogs in France and whatnot. And I explained to him I didn't see them as Bichon-like or over trimmed or anything like that. And lo and behold, it showed up in Judge's Education. What I said, and then I've been asked since to do seminars on the grooming of the Barbie, and I turned it down because I've never done.
You're
I think
right.
I've shown maybe one or two in my life, and I don't think I'm an expert at
Yeah.
Barbie. I have a
Right.
definite feel of how I think they should be presented, how they should look, but I just thought it was interesting that those few points that I picked out and told the president made it to Judge's Education.
Hmm.
And like I still feel that way today. Like I judge them now, and
Hmm.
I still look at them if they're overgroomed to my eye. I don't really penalize them. Like if there was two dogs that were exact same quality in the ring, and one was overgroomed and one was groomed more to breed specific, I'd probably lean towards the breed specific one.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't think you can penalize or shouldn't penalize overgrooming because they're not going to pass it on to their get. So
No.
you're judging
No.
breeding stock right now,
Yeah.
and hopefully you're not being fooled by a good haircut because
Right.
there are some owner handlers, breeder handlers that are so good at their
Adept. Yeah.
job that they make it tough to judge. You've got to look through what they've got in front of you,
Yeah.
especially if they have a lot of things to work with, a lot of big big dog
Yeah.
or a lot of dog with coat that can be sculptured and because it's attractive, right? It is attractive,
Yeah.
but you've got to look through it. But I don't think you should penalize them for it,
Yes.
especially if you're judging that class and that dog is, in your opinion, the best dog. But I'm not going to put it up because of the handler. You've got to. That works the other way around too. You'll
Right.
find the best dog in the ring, and he's not groomed at all. Are you going to
At all.
penalize him? But are you going to penalize him? And
Yeah.
especially if he's the best dog in the ring. So it works on both ends of that
Yeah.
scale.
Yep. Because I mean, seriously, we show setters, and I don't think there's nothing more pretty and fancy than English or an Irish or a Gordon that comes in with coat to burn, underline done up nicely, top coat.
As long as it's done for the dog, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's hard for people on the outside of the ring sometimes to look as a judge. You're going to put up the bitch that just was in season and she blew all her hair and she's got like 4 hairs underneath her compared to the male special that's still sitting there dripping in coat. It's hard sometimes for people to understand that just because he's got a lot of hair doesn't mean he's the better one.
Right. And
Right?
and you said the term fancy. You're going to get purists saying, "Well, fancy's not in the standard," and they're right. But it's aesthetically pleasing. But it's like you get some people that have one haircut that they put on every dog, every
Yeah.
breed, like every Irish setter, every Gordon setter, every whatever.
Yeah.
And that's not right. Like when I was taught to groom setters, it was actually Mark Threffel that pointed me in this direction. He taught me that furnishing should be an extension of the breed structure you want to see. So there was no curtains. It was just the structure down. It was like it was following the same lines. Because I always thought if I had like I take a 40 regular or a 40 short in a suit. Now can you imagine if I had
40 long.
50 long, but it was an Armani,
Right.
I would look like crap in it.
Yes.
So it's not every suit doesn't fit the person the same.
That's right.
So you've got to fit the dog to the suit you want to put on that dog.
Yeah.
In essence, to what we're talking about.
For sure.
So I think now I was always lucky during a lot of my career to have a really good assistant that told me to stop grooming when it got to be too much.
We're getting down to skin and blood now, Will. We're getting to skin and blood.
I think it's time to stop. That was Yvonne. Yvonne was this little muse on my shoulder that I'd be trimming away, and all of a sudden, all right, I think that's enough. I think you're there. Because you get so excited about an upcoming judge or upcoming event, and you wanted your dog to look the very best. So sometimes you thought, especially when you're younger, more is better, but less is more. So I've come to that conclusion in my life. Less is more, and you need to know when to stop and not to go over the top. But it's a fine line because, again, you don't want to be undergroomed compared to everybody else's dogs because it like we talked about earlier, it follows trends, and
yes, and there are lots of different trends, you know,
but you can recognize different people's trims, and it doesn't matter who's showing them. You can say, oh, that's Eileen Hackett's trim. Oh, that's the Adam Bernardin's trim. Oh, that's George Alston's trim. You can recognize those trims. So it's not necessarily a trend, but it's a style. It's a style of how those handlers see how that breed should be presented.
Exactly.
And again, we talked about it, that handlers nowadays, and I'm not just saying professional handlers of all these dogs, they are so clever at trimming now. They've each generation evolves. If you look back and saw Horace Hollins, who was a great Irish setter, English setter handler back in the 50s and 60s, his dogs were trimmed really well for their time. Then the next generation went up to like Bob and Jane Forsyth, to George, to Tommy Glassford. Well, George took them all to a different level because he had these different ideas about dogs. I remember being about a 12-year-old boy at the Cherry Blossom Circuit, and I was just following George around. I took pictures of the Irish Setter ring, and even to this day, you would look at that Irish Setter ring and go, wow, he's a good groomer. He's good at what he does. Yeah. But then it went up a level from there, too. Like Elliot Weiss's trims changed a little bit, and then it just went on and on. And so I think each generation has not, I want to say they're better, but they're evolving.
There's an evolution.
They're copying the last generation and trying to go a bit more, even if it's incremental, they're going a bit more into it. So to the point where it's gotten where some dogs, they're like portraits. You just want to take a picture of them, hang it in your dining room.
Well, and I mean, if you look at let's look at poodles or the drop coat breeds with top knots, etc. I mean, circa 1950 looks a lot different than 2025. Sure, right? And it's not to say that at that time that dog wasn't groomed well. It was a different time, and we didn't have even the equipment that we use.
Because everything's evolved. Everything has been, like when we first started having Irish setters, showing Irish setters, we had those hand clippers that you had to move like scissors. I can remember my dad trying to do the ears and the neck, and it's like that was their clippers. And then they got the Osters, and they were like, "Oh my God, these are so great! They weigh 20 pounds, and they sound like a chainsaw beside your dog." Right. But it was a level higher than the previous.
Yeah, exactly. My tendonitis just flared up when you talked about those clippers.
I remember those. I saw those. I do a lot of antiquing. I just like wandering through. Yeah. And I found a pair of those at an antique store. I almost bought them. I didn't. No. And they were Oster, I think. I think they were still made by
Well,
Oscar.
probably because that used to be, I think, like one of the very few names that was out there as far as like animal clippers and stuff like that. Well, they were also hairdressers, but
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I still remember Garrett Lambert because he was really tough on people if they cheated in grooming. Like he was
yeah,
very purist, and he tried to teach us all to do things by hand and be as natural as you can. Like even his English setter grooming, he could I'm sure he would evolve a bit if he was still showing dogs, he was still
yeah,
around. But even the ones his trims back then were, they'd
yeah,
pass today. You
yeah,
just might have to tweak a little bit. But he used to, if he caught somebody cheating and using clippers where they should have used a knife, he named, oh, you used the Oster Speed Stripper this week. And he'd be ruthless about it. He wasn't, he would
yeah,
embarrass you. So,
yeah, yeah. But that's the just the natural flow and progression that we've had in dogs too, right? Is to
oh,
just,
no question.
you know, each level of to keep trimming and to try different things. And that's when, you see some different trends, some that stay and some that don't. So
Yeah.
what would be a trend
But
that what
pardon
would be
me?
a trend that you think that did not last in a breed?
Did not last. I think curtains on setters. I think that we've all evolved
Yeah.
past that.
Yeah.
There was a point where we just were all afraid to cut any length off our furnishings because we didn't want to. We grew it. We didn't want to take it off, so we would just balance it out, and then there'd be
Yeah.
this blob
Yeah.
of a curtain like at a
Yeah.
at a theater and a tail and a head.
Right.
They were afraid. And
Exactly.
you saw that in springers, you saw that in setters,
Yeah.
you saw that in
Yeah.
cockers.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just this
Yeah.
it's
There's very
almost like
little shape other than,
it was almost like they felt it was sacrilegious to cut that hair because they grew it.
yeah.
So
I still feel
but
that way sometimes.
I remember I think I even called you the day Elise and Louie brought Adele to me.
Yeah.
She was young. She was like 14 months or something like that. I
Yeah.
forget
Yeah. She
now.
wasn't two yet. That
She didn't
was,
have a lot of hair, but she had enough. I could see what she was. But I was so excited about her. But I got the most excited about her was after Lisa and Louie left. I threw her in the tub as I always did, and I bathed. And then she's soaking wet. And I think that's when I called you. I was like, "Oh my gosh! Wait till you see this English hair is soaking wet." And I find when they're soaking wet, and you look at them, you can see where the lines need to be.
yeah. Yeah.
Especially when you're trimming, you can see where the lines need to be if your natural evolution of how the lines go. Because if you think about George had a theory about triangles, and he's very right about and it actually fits all the setters, but you've got to extend them in certain ways.
Hmm.
But that's a way to trim. It's just a way to
Hmm.
follow it. No, not that hard a line, but that definite
Hmm.
shape. You
Yeah.
know, so.
Yeah. And then, and I always, it's not that I always feel for like people with the smooth coated breeds, right? Because there is trimming that you can do. Like,
Oh, there's no way.
you trim on
When
the
I trim my
beagles.
beagles, people are like, "What?"
Yeah.
I think it was someone. Was it you? I don't know. They used to make fun of me for trimming Kevin for 3 hours.
Well, yeah, because that was like, okay, you're coming to skin and bone now. Stop. But
But
there's
I
other,
remember I showed Kevin to Mrs. Clark, and she did very
yeah,
well for Kevin in a lot of
yeah,
different arenas. Ended up giving the American National, and she always talked about how nice I had his flat work. Whoever hears a flat work on a beagle, but
yeah.
it
But no,
basically is flat work,
yep,
Now I'm
there
not
is.
going to pull it all out by hand, but I did top it off with a knife. So
Yeah, for sure. For sure, Kevin. Eagles are in the ring now.
now, but I do get a little defensive when they pick on the beagles. So, and I want to be clear about something because your daughter brought this up to us. In the standard, ungroomed does not mean unbathed or
Unbathed.
dirty. Okay.
Showing them au naturel does not mean au smellorama.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Remember you're at a dog show and you're asking this official to put his hands on your dog.
Yes.
And I know you want to have that natural texture, but that doesn't mean it has to be dirty.
No.
Like I used to show a lot of Labradors,
Yep.
and people used to get mad at me for bathing them, but I would bathe them and dry them completely.
Yes.
And there was like they were still had their coat, their texture, everything was still perfect. They just didn't have that natural oil that stays in there the whole time. And
Yeah.
you know,
The
so
stuff that stains the
no, we
blanket.
didn't do it every week, but when I first got one, of
No.
course, I bathed it and I dried it completely and made sure. And that way, you got rid of some of the excess hair that didn't need to be there. You left so that the new stuff grew back then because there was room to grow back because you got rid of the crab, and you started with a fresh, clean canvas.
Yep. Exactly. And I think for me, because I didn't have anyone up here in Thunder Bay that, that grew hair on setters like, you got like down in Eastern Ontario. And that was a learning experience for me. But I mean, the first thing, and I think it was Becky that actually just said to me, she looked at me, Becky Arch, and she looked at me, she says, clean hair grows. So you have to give your dog a bath every week.
It's true.
And
but you have to put the time into it. You have to bath and dry them completely. So many people think they just bath them and throw them outside. That's no, you're not stimulating hair growth. You're not stimulating natural oils. You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So you sure you're getting them clean so they won't smell in your house, but you're not thinking about what you're trying to achieve.
Yep. And blow drying trains the hair the way you want it to grow.
Right.
All of that kind of stuff too, that, and it takes time. And like you said, you got to put the work into it. So that part of the grooming is, you can't avoid that part. And even like you said, even with the short coated breeds, giving them a bath consistently and drying them. Because you have to keep.
I've been to I'm going to say RC, for instance. I've been to RC's kennel, and he's taken that wire fox chair and bathed that dog from tail to and then just dried it properly, and you wouldn't know the difference. And he was clean and correct texture and ready to go,
Yep.
And it's easier to work on dogs, to trim on dogs with a clean coat. There's no question. But we're getting off topic a little bit.
Yes, a little bit.
So when to stop, Yvonne? Like we talked about you stopping me.
Yes.
But when you've got to know in your heart, you can't call Yvonne and have her look over your shoulder on FaceTime and say, "Okay, time to stop."
Sometimes
she
I don't answer.
Her price.
Sometimes. Yeah, you and I both know it's a fine line, and what you hate to do is when you cross that line, you think, "Oh, that was too much." Damn, that was too much.
I remember always hearing this story about. I won't mention any of the handlers except for the initial one, but a couple of handlers were, penalized verbally for over grooming.
Yep.
And somebody of great merit stood up and said, well, if someone like Dick Cooper did it 20 years ago, you guys would all think it was innovative. So I think it all depends. And because even if you think back on Dick's trims were ahead of his time. And then Kenny Murray evolved past Dick, because Kenny worked for Dick for 10 plus years, and his trims evolved past Dick, and his were always breed specific. Kenny's trims were always breed specific.
Yeah, very much so.
But it was amazing. If we go back to trends, do you think about the Eastern Seaboard, Midwest, and the West?
Yeah.
The trims are different. They were all good trims, but they were very different.
Variety is the spice of life.
I suppose, but and that trendsetter in that area, let's say Kenny Murray, everybody in the Midwest would try to emulate Ken Murray because he was so successful, and they would ask him. And a lot of the handlers around there were apprentices of Ken's, so they basically had the same ideas as Ken, and their dogs all presented very well like Ken Murray's dogs.
Yes, for sure. I remember I was reprimanded by Kiki Khan once for my poodle puppy trim being she felt it was too exaggerated. And that's like in poodles.
She was always tough on trims though. Kiki was.
Yeah. And I honestly did not think it was that exaggerated.
We never do.
No. I asked, Allison checked, Allison said it's fine. So, but, and you have to also take that with, some guidance if a judge does tell you that your trim is too extreme, or you're going a little over the top. Or I find I find some in the ring sometimes now is like the over preparation of coat, like the excessive use of powders and sprays and stuff. And I'm not
Even
talking
over
here.
process. You can always tell an over process coat
Yes,
too. So.
then that and with that, you can also tell if you're putting a ton of crap in your dog's coat all weekend, that Monday morning or Monday bath is essential to make sure that your dog has a clean coat, right? Because you're stifling that hair with all the stuff we put in it through the weekend, even though you may be bathing.
Just a hint, like you put all that stuff in your dog's coat, then take your hand, wash your hand, dry it, then run it through your dog's coat, and then look at it and feel how it feels and think, that's what my judge is going to feel.
Judge is feeling, yeah.
So there's got to be a happy medium. And as handlers, we all go through it because we get excited about once we learn certain things, we learn how to present a Westie. We learn certain things. We may go over the top for a while at first until we settle back in and create our own style and our own way of presenting that breed. But I do, but then there's the opposite end of the scale, Yvonne. There's those ones that under trim, and then they'll complain when a dog that's over trimmed beats them. And let's face it, it's human nature. Aesthetically, to the eye, you're out there judging. It's a beauty contest. You're judging a breeding stock, but it's a beauty contest, and it's a human nature sport, and you're looking for something that attracts your eye. And if it's not presented to their satisfaction and it's below that, and they've got to go searching for it. So it's almost like the opposite end of the scale when it's over trimmed. Am I going to reward this dog even though he's over trimmed? I still think it's the best dog in the ring. Am I going to reward it because it's over trimmed, and without looking at its trimming and still reward it? That's the same thing with the judge looking at a dog that's under trimmed. Is this dog the best dog in the ring? Maybe it is. Do I reward it? Like I have to go searching for that dog. I have to adjust my eye to all the things that's not done to that dog. And as a handler, I do that a lot as a judge. I think, oh, if I had that dog, I would do this, this, and this. In my head, I don't say it out loud yet. Who knows? When I'm 75, 80, I might. I might not have an inside voice. But
true. But it's true. So, you have to help the judge find you. Help the judge find your dog,
And don't be the reason they don't find your dog. But Garrett used to kind of make fun, Garrett Lambert again, he used to kind of make fun of, because he was a very good trimmer for the day. And when someone would complain about Garrett's trims, he would say, the ones that complain are usually the ones that don't want to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth. Like you could never, if you look at Garrett's trims, you could never say, "Oh my God, that's over the top. That's a caricature of the breed."
Yeah, no.
He never ever did that. It was always very breed specific, and he tried to put a jacket on all his dogs if they needed a jacket.
Yeah.
He tried to be breed specific in his presentation all the time, and I think handlers need to do that even to this day because we're seeing a bit of a crossover now in handlers, at least in Ontario. We're getting pet groomers that are evolving into professional dog handlers. And sometimes those trims aren't breed specific, but if you look at the beginning of their career of that dog and halfway through, they've figured it out. They figured out that they're not at the grooming event, they're at a dog show and they need to do this, this, and this instead of just making it totally aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
So, you've got to make it functional and breed specific.
Yes.
I don't know. Are we done? I'm out of breath.
Okay. So, So that was our topic of the week.
Of the story?
Moral of the story. Breed specific.
Call Yvonne, tell her to tell you when to stop grooming your dog. Or
call me.
Tell you to start grooming your dog.
Are you going to bath that?
Just don't let, I don't want to say laziness, but life get in the way of your dog's preparation.
Yeah.
If you're showing your Wire Fox Terrier, I'm just throwing that right out there. That's a lot of work involved to compete with the other Wire Fox Terrier handlers. Don't think, oh, I'm going to just do this and go out there and beat RC Carusi, because you're not. You know, 9 times out of 10, RC is a breed specific trimmer, and his dog's always into the ring in beautiful condition, just like most of the terrier handlers down there now, because they're incredible.
Yeah.
And you need to, I'm not saying you have to be as adept as all of them, but you need to put the time in, put the effort in. Don't just shake your head and go, I got beat because he's a handler. No, you got beat because their dog is as good as yours and presented more breed specifically.
Yes. Yep. So that was this week's topic, and it was sponsored by Leading Edge Dog Show Academy. Your success.
It's up to you now. Why I'm done.
Your success is our success. Our success. Oh, you should tell blah, 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 your Canine Chronicle interview this week.
Oh, yes. Because it sort of follows along the last 2 weeks of the show.
Yes.
I interviewed Raymond Urick. Is he
I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
I've heard that name before.
I forget when his birthday is, but you have a good idea when his birthday is. It's
25
days before you or 25 days after you? I can't remember.
25 days before.
I interviewed Raymond. Raymond has been a long-time friend, a dear friend since he was a teenager.
I've known him all my life, literally.
You've known him all your life.
All my life.
And he was a very good assistant, a very good professional handler. He is a very good breeder, and he is an exceptional judge.
Yes.
And I interviewed him for Canine Chronicle and Dog Show Tips, and it came out this week. But he talked about the difference in grooming and styles and how things changed, because Raymond was very, very big in the Bichon world for a long time, and he was right there in the middle of the change where it went from the bell head to the circular head, and he explained the differences. It's a very good article and a very good interview, and I think if you should listen to it if you want to hear about these grooming trends and how they evolve, because Raymond does touch on a lot of those things. So
and talked about what we were talking about the past weeks, also mentorship in all aspects. In all aspects of the sport. So it's a good interview, and I know him.
And you're usually tougher on him than most. So.
I am. I was really relieved.
If anyone says a good interview, it's probably a very good interview. It was okay.
I was relieved that he never said anything about how mean I was when we were kids.
I took that stuff out.
Oh, good.
The question of the week.
So the question of the week, brought to you by ProPlan, fuel the champion in your dog. So last week's question was about who is your greatest mentor in the sport. So go ahead.
Yeah, we have a bunch of comments here.
Yes.
Mary Merlo, friend of the show. George Olson is in my head many times when I am in the ring.
Yeah.
I hear you, Mayor. I hear it as well. Half speed. Think in slow motion, half speed.
Xander Shriver, for me, it's been Carol Graham. She's taught me everything I know about poodles. When I was still in high school, my parents would fly me out to Carol and Calgary each summer to do a number of the big shows here in Alberta and learn from Carol. Some of my best dog show memories come from those summers out here with Carol, learning from her and meeting so many of the other great dog people out west. And Xander actually lives in Calgary now with Carol. And he's one of our professional handlers.
Harvey Wooding wrote, when I'm thinking about structure and type, there are two that were great teachers. Helen Kilgus, Helljack's English setters, and Marge O'Connell, Hidden Lane English setters. Both also taught me that this is not for the faint of heart.
So true. So true.
You gotta like Harvey.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Larissa Hodgson, she says, Leslie Rogers was my early all-breed mentor. He was a wealth of knowledge. He gave me guidance as well as asked me good questions. He always seemed interested in everything dog-related and dog show-related. He was such a great man. He was clearly very knowledgeable. I brought every litter I had over to his home to be tattooed, even when I decided to microchip. We let the puppies run around and just watch them walk and stand and interact. We talked dogs. We put them on the table, and he helped me understand what a good puppy felt like under the hand. So that's very valuable information for sure.
Yeah, he was a wonderful dog, man. A great dog judge, but he was such a character too. He was such a character. I remember he awarded the Saluki I was showing Best in Show, and whenever he gave me a big win, he always said, "Do you want to know why I gave this dog this win, William?" So he was a Saluki at the time. And he said, "You want to know why I gave this Saluki Best in Show, William?" I'm like, "Yes, I'd love to know why." He said, "Because of her smooth lines and athletic build. It reminded me of myself."
Was that Lucky, or was it the one after?
That was Lucky. It was Lucky. Yeah.
He was great.
He was incredible. Catherine Grant wrote John Royston, Archie Warnock, and Bob Gillum. Now, so those are three people that had a huge impact on my career as well. Because Catherine and I sort of grew up together. In my early days with Irish Setters, John Lusk when I made the leap to judging. I can see John Lusk being a very good mentor as well, especially in judging. But yeah, John Royston, Archie Warnock, and Bob Gillum, they were such help in Irish Setters when I was younger. Bob Gillum actually groomed my family's very first Irish Setter, show groom. So, yeah.
Yep.
And Archie was just always Archie.
Great. I'm going to read this one just to get it out of the way. Josephine Lambert, Will Alexander, as well as George Alston. When George is so far away, it is the best thing ever to have Will Alexander guiding you along the way. So there you go.
Well, that's very nice, Josephine. Thank you. Yes. Check is in the mail.
Tammy Zawatsky, Layla Castleman, and for those of you who don't know, she used to be a Doberman breeder in Winnipeg area, and she's no longer with us. Layla Castleman, sit down, listen, and shut up. I miss sitting at ringside discussing dogs with her. I miss those heart-to-heart talks. Do you want to hear the truth or just what you want to think you want to hear, right?
Right.
And you remember Layla? She was, she was great.
I like this one, Linnea Baker. She wrote, Angie Linton told me shoulders back, chest out during one weekend I worked for him. I think of it every single time I step into the ring, and I will forever.
That's true.
Andy, I can see Andy being a great mentor. I interviewed Andy a few years ago, and I still draw from that interview. He's a very clever dog man, so he has some great advice. If you get a chance, again, go back and listen to that interview. It's on the Dog Show Tips website, and it's on YouTube. But Andy Linton was a wonderful interview, and he gives a lot of great advice.
Yeah. Lisa Breslin, Lynn Storshaw of Lynn's Pride Mastiffs. I hear in the back of my mind all the time with so much, but I say her best advice was to help people who are trying to learn and clap when they win. The breed goes nowhere if we don't encourage and support each other. So that's just like, that is so, I think that is a great, valuable piece of information because it's true. We're not going to go anywhere if we don't help uplift each other.
Oh, exactly. I'm going to read this one too. Tammy McAllister, she wrote Wendy Paquette when I was 16 years old. She so kindly told me the last pup I bought from BYB
Backyard.
was not show quality. She graciously told me to find her a home and start again. It was great advice that was hard to hear, but given very respectfully. That's important advice. And if more people would do that with people with their first dogs, they would be further ahead because they spend, I've talked about this a lot, my centers. You spend 10 years trying to fix the first mistake you made.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
So Wendy was great in helping Tammy, and since then Tammy's a breeder of bulldogs, and she has some beautiful bulldogs, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that was always in the back of her head, what Wendy said to her. So
Yep, for sure. Diane Fast said, I came to the party late and started showing as an adult. Impossible to pick just one. And Diane Fast is from also the Winnipeg area. George and Jerry Taylor, Larry and Lorraine Karaluk, Sonny and Bobby Tugas. They all taught me so much. Sonny and Bobby used to have special handling classes for a small group of us, which were just the best. And those are some pretty big names in that.
I don't know Bobby very well, but Sonny was incredible, and he was always trying to help people. He was an incredible guy.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I know Larry and George and Jerry, that's for sure. That was the question of the week. That was last week's question of the week.
Yep.
Yeah. Brought to you by ProPlan. Fuel the champion in your dog. So this week's question we already discussed, but now we're going to ask you what you all think. What y'all think.
What y'all think. Don't you know?
Breed-specific grooming. When do the trends become too much? So we're going to look forward to your response and give it to us. Let's hear it.
Yeah, we want
good and bad.
We want it. Yep. Let us know your thoughts on our Facebook page on the question of the week post whenever Megan gets back from wherever.
We don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
We do this.
It should be.
This is our show. This is it.
Should be up by the time this goes down, because I believe she should be back. But now it's just a matter of either one of us remembering to tell her to.
Yeah. Put it in the chat line or the chat group chat.
Group text. So,
look what's next. Your Kennel and Bench is next, Yvonne.
Kennel and Bench.
Back to you, Yvonne.
Back to me. And I even had to look this up. It wasn't just Megan finding something. This is
humanity.
It was such a stressful week for me, and it's only it's only Wednesday now. We had to delay taping and the whole thing. It's just awful. Okay.
One of those weeks.
Yep. So anyway, I picked this out from the Kennel and Bench from 1919, July of 1919 edition. And it's called Our Veterinary Department. And I just found this so fascinating, because you could write in to the CKC, you could write into Kennel and Bench with a question, a veterinary type question, and they would answer it for you. And I assume a real vet answered.
It's like a health hotline. It took you months to get the answer, but it's like a health hotline.
Well, I'm laughing because some of the veterinary situations across this country, like I went to make an appointment for my dog, and it's like for shots, and I'm like 3 months down the road. It's crazy. So I might get a faster answer if I wrote in.
Try that number. Call them. Write them a note.
Write them a note. So anyway, it says here, I have to read it off the other screen because when I printed it out, it's wee small. So our veterinary department, questions relating to the treatment of ailing dogs must be addressed to the editor of Kennel and Bench and must reach us no later than the 20th of each month. So for next month, I might be able to be okay. If answer is to appear in the next issue, advice to breeders in this column is free of charge. But advice by mail, when an urgent reply is requested, a fee of $1.50 must be enclosed to the letter of the editor. So this is just this is a couple of the questions that I found this to be weird. Post-mortem examinations. Carcasses for examination must be sent prepaid to Dr. J.A. Campbell, gives the address. A fee of $2 must accompany the carcass in all cases, or else it will be destroyed without examination.
That's quite morbid.
Isn't it? Like, questions must be brief. In every case, breed, sex, age, and conditions observed should be given. Proper name and address must be given, not for publication. Also, nom de plume, over which he wishes questions answered. So if you write in or whatever, you can give yourself a pen name, right? So, lover of dogs. This was the first one. Answer, your palm, in quote, evidently had a fit due to the excessive heat and excitement. Applying cold water to the head will often relieve an attack. It's just like, I wonder what that question was.
Yeah. It's a month too late for the treatment, though.
Exactly. So here's one more. I will, it's about an English setter, so this is why I picked it. Question. I have an English setter puppy, 5.5 months old, in which about 4 weeks ago injured its left hind leg. I do not know how it happened. I hear ya. It was in great pain and unable to use the leg. I came to the conclusion that the trouble was a bad sprain of the hip and have been rubbing it with a liniment. The leg is not so painful now, but it has wasted and he is afraid to put any weight on it. Is there any treatment and will he always be lame? Yes. Answer. The injury is more serious than a sprain. It must have been a fracture or a dislocation. If it was the former, there is a good chance of the pup recovering the full use of the leg in the course of time. But a dislocation will have a certain amount of deformity and more or less lameness. No treatment is needed other than keeping the puppy in good condition and allowing moderate exercise. If the lameness does not disappear in 2 or 3 months from the time the injury occurred, your puppy will always have a limp. There you go.
But that's incredible that they had that service back then.
Right? You know, so anybody looking that up, remember to go to publication history, I think, in the on the CKC
website
under your membership portal. Yeah, and you could go. I tell you, it's like some of the stuff is like you're just like, holy crap. I think a lot of people were more honest about stuff too back then, like kind of just said it how it is, not so PC. But I enjoyed that. Anyway, that's that.
Well, that's that, Yvonne.
We made it. We made it.
We made it.
Hopefully it didn't suck. So anyway, don't forget to click like and subscribe to the podcast. Check us out on our Facebook page, The Dog Show Drive. And you can email us your ideas, comments, and more at dogshowdrive@gmail.com. So that's all. So
that's it. Yep. Okay. Take us away.
So anybody driving to a show, going to a show this weekend, be safe, seatbelts on, glasses on. Till next time. Bye.
Take care, guys.